Your instincts were right all along. The red flags were there, but you gave the benefit of the doubt. That's not a flaw. It's part of being a decent human who wants to trust family. She was clearly trying to insert herself into your estate. The comments, the manipulation of your son, the scheming, all consistent with someone aiming to secure wealth and influence through coercion and deceit. Your security measures paid off. Having cameras and bait documents, that's some A-plus strategic thinking. You didn't just catch her, you documented her. Your son may be under emotional manipulation. From the way you describe it, he's been handled by Karen, played emotionally, and made to believe you're against him or the kids. What you should do next. 1. Lock down legally, immediately. Talk to your attorney about the footage and her unauthorized access to private documents. Her actions may constitute attempted fraud, theft of intellectual property, and invasion of privacy. Have your lawyer draft a cease and desist letter if she tries to interfere with the business again, or worse, go public with lies. Consider a restraining order if she escalates or continues to enter your home or access private materials. 2. Review your will and trust structure. Confirm all documents are secure. Update passwords, move originals to a safe deposit box, and keep only copies at home. Keep your kids informed. Make sure both your son and daughter understand the intent behind the estate and that your decisions are fair, legal, and well documented. Add a no-contest clause to your will if it's legal in your state. This could discourage any challenges from Karen down the line. 3. Talk to your son with proof. This is going to be hard, but show him the footage. Let the evidence speak. Express that you love him and care about his well-being and his future, but that Karen's behavior is beyond tolerable or excusable. Make clear your issue is with her actions, not his love for her or the kids. He needs to separate those in his head. 4. Protect the business. Remove any ambiguity. Karen has no stake or claim. If not already done, incorporate succession planning for your biological children, especially your daughter who sounds capable and grounded. Lock employee records, contracts, and financials. This woman clearly has no boundaries. 5. Support the Stepkids where possible. You've gone above and beyond with the trust funds. That's incredibly kind. If you want to continue a relationship with them, it may have to happen independent of their mother. Consider setting up the trusts so Karen has no control or access. Final thoughts. You've shown more restraint, generosity, and decency than most people would have in your situation. The betrayal is real, but you've taken solid steps to expose it and protect yourself. That said, this isn't just a family drama. It's a cautionary tale about trust, entitlement, and the importance of keeping your financial house in order, especially when new family dynamics enter the picture. Would you like help writing a formal statement or letter to your son, or assistance outlining a step-by-step plan from here? Whatever you need, I'm in your corner. Title: My daughter-in-law tried to steal my business and forge my will. Now she's in jail. Let me walk you through how my pregnant daughter-in-law Karen went from family member to full-on criminal, and how my family came together to protect what matters. It started with a visit. Karen came over one afternoon, claiming to be just checking in. I keep all my important documents in a safety deposit box, but I have a home office with outdated copies, summaries, and some decoy notes. While I was downstairs, she was upstairs for 10 minutes not feeling well. But in reality, she was scanning fake documents about me franchising the restaurants and listing imaginary buyers with fake numbers. She then tried breaking into my locked desk, triggering security alerts. At the same time, my daughter, who works at a bank, gets an alert from their fraud department. Karen had tried to open trust accounts for her kids using forged documents, with my signature. These documents included fake amendments to my will, stating I was splitting everything equally between all grandkids. She even forged my lawyer's signature, wrongly spelling his name as Stevens instead of Stevens. If you're going to commit fraud, At least get the name right. The real unraveling begins. Turns out this was just the tip of the iceberg. Karen had tried to get into every locked drawer and file cabinet in my office. My daughter found forged documents, and my son, finally suspicious, started doing some digging. He discovered a journal in their home office, not a diary, but a strategic playbook. It included research on my businesses and assets, a timeline for manipulating family relationships, notes about which relatives she could sway, observations about my late wife's death to exploit my grief plans to use her pregnancy as leverage. Worse still, when my son contacted the attorney from her late husband's family, he found she'd pulled a similar scam, blackmailed his family for trust money using access to their kids as leverage. They settled privately, but they documented everything. Layers upon layers of fraud. Karen had tried similar scams in 2 other states, spent $3,000 consulting estate attorneys to help her contest my will. Secretly recorded family conversations. A felony in our state. Sold copies of family recipes to a competing restaurant group. She even emailed a sketchy legal consultant saying, and I quote, "His dad's restaurants are worth millions. Once I have his baby, they can't ignore my claims." Yeah, she planned to use my unborn grandchild as leverage. The public meltdown. The breaking point came when she showed up drunk at my flagship restaurant during dinner rush, 5 months pregnant, and began live streaming herself, ranting about how I was stealing her family's future. She accused me of running illegal operations, tried to storm the kitchen, and knocked over a wine rack, $15,000 in damages. My son showed up and tried to calm her down. That's when she screamed, "I'll abort this baby if you don't back me up." In front of a full house, on live stream. That was it. My son called the cops. She was arrested for drunken disorderly property damage and attempted bribery of an officer. The fallout. The next day, we hit her with a cease and desist, backed by security footage. The forged documents, her journal screenshots of incriminating emails, evidence of her prior scams. Her lawyer quit within the hour. Karen spiraled, sending mass texts with threats, calling the IRS, health department, even threatening to expose my racism. She threatened to take the baby and vanish. That's when my son filed for divorce and emergency custody. The judge ruled in his favor. Karen was ordered to move out, mandated a psychiatric evaluation, limited to supervised contact until the baby was born. Her parents, shockingly reasonable, apologized to us and admitted they'd seen this behavior before. The final chapter. Karen gave birth to a healthy baby boy while wearing an ankle monitor. Meanwhile, the courts moved fast. Criminal charges, attempted grand theft, multiple forgeries, bank fraud, illegal recordings, breaking and entering, bribery, identity theft. Her pattern of behavior led the DA to contact other families she'd scammed. Court-approved access to therapy notes where she openly admitted to using pregnancy as a bargaining tool. During court, she tried claiming I was running a drug operation out of my restaurants. "Lady, I can barely work my iPhone." She also submitted fake court documents with letterhead from a bank that doesn't exist anymore. Seriously. The sentence 18 months in prison, all but 90 days suspended, 5 years probation, mandatory psychiatric treatment, barred from financial or fiduciary work, lost her notary license, restraining order from me and my businesses. Family outcome. My son got full physical custody, lives in one of my rental homes in therapy, doing great as a new dad. My daughter, rock star. Through all of this, helped with legal financials, super supportive Karen's parents, took temporary custody of her older kids and are cooperating with my son. Family recipes, protected now, the restaurants, thriving. Ironically, the meltdown boosted our visibility. Booked solid for weeks, I kept the education trust for her kids, but locked it down tight. Corporate trustee only, funds go straight to schools. Those kids won't suffer for their mom's insanity. TLDR, my daughter-in-law tried to scam her way into my estate, forge documents, sell family recipes, commit bank fraud, and use her pregnancy as blackmail. Now she's in jail, my son has custody, and my business is doing better than ever. Thanks for reading. And yes, we pressed every charge.